Have you ever lived with a frozen shoulder? I have. I know it can be pretty uncomfortable and painful and disrupt sleep. But one thing that can be interesting to consider is whether a frozen shoulder has a purely sort of physical root cause. If we think about what our shoulder's for, it enables us to reach, grab, get, give, go after something, hold, and also to let go, push away, draw back. So there's these two different actions going on. In other words, ultimately like a push and a pull. And it can be interesting to consider whether in our lives there are any conflicts going on around push-pull, if we are living with a frozen shoulder, if physical therapy isn't really getting to the heart of it, we're just managing our symptoms and feeling like we have to live with this, and ultimately it's getting even progressively worse. So it could be that there might be something in our life that we really want to go after, but perhaps we feel fear or unworthiness. It could be that there's someone in our life that we want to be closer to, but we feel uncertain, unconfident, or even unsafe deep down to pursue that. It could be that we are actually actively engaging in things in our life that we don't really want to be doing. It's coming from a sense of obligation, something I sort of should do. So there's this conflict of something I want, something I don't want. And if we think about how the body sometimes adapts to help us cope with inner conflicts, our arm can sometimes be acting out that push-pull, and the muscles tighten up to a state of lockdown and freeze and stuckness that represents that stuckness that we feel in our lives. I've had a frozen shoulder, and I've gone down the path of trying to deal with it with physical therapies. And when I began to understand the importance of listening to my body and understanding what might be going on and how my body might be adapting, and I joined those dots, my frozen shoulder cleared up pretty quickly. Not perfectly, it sometimes comes back, but in those times I ask those questions to myself. What in my life am I both sort of half wanting and half not wanting, or resisting, pushing away but going after something? Where in my life is there this conflict playing out? So yeah, just something to consider if you're living with a frozen shoulder. Where might you be experiencing a push-pull in your life?